So now I'm recording the session. Okay, we are going to do vector products. You have studied it as well. There are two vector products. One is the dot product. So first, let us say let us study dot product. Okay, so given two vectors, we can take a dot product of them of these two vectors. Let us say we are having vector A, and we take a dot product with vector B. So it gives you vector A mod B cos theta. Okay, and theta is what? The theta is the angle between these two vectors. So we can graphically draw this as to be, if this is vector A and this is vector B and this is theta, then we say that A dot B is mod B cos theta. So we can easily see that when theta is 90 degree, so your dot product will be 0. So this is popular from your junior classes. But what is the means physical significance of taking a dot product? This will be very helpful in your electrostatics. So dot product you will find most of the application in electrostatics. Okay. So what is this A dot B exactly? So exactly what it is the reflection of vector B onto vector A. What this means? This means that if you put a sun here and the shadow of vector B on this vector A, what it will be? It will be this, if this vector is mod B, then this will be mod B cos theta. So what is a dot product? It is the reflection of a vector onto the second vector and the multiplication of these two vectors, means the reflection part of the first vector and the second vector. It is just the multiplication of this. Or you can in other words understand this as to be that how much of your vector B is in vector A direction. Okay, I will make it more clear with a one more example. Let us say we fix a south in here and north in here. This will be your east, this is west. Okay, now let us move in this in east direction, east south direction. So we are moving in east south direction, but how much you have moved in south direction and how much you have moved in east direction? So what you will do, you will take a dot product of your vector V, this, with your south direction vector. Let us say unit vector. If we define the direction of this south as to be unit vector south. So as you have already we have discussed in previous lecture, what is a unit vector? It just gives you a direction, nothing else. So if you want to find that how much of this es vector is in s direction, then what you have need to do, you just need to take the dot product of your vector v with unit vector south. So what will be vector v in south direction? It will be vector v taking dot product with unit vector s. What is unit vector s? We have already defined this as to be in the direction of south. Now similarly you can also tell that how much you have moved in each direction. So what you have to do, you have to take the same vectors. If you need to find how much you have moved or what is the velocity in each direction, then you need to take the dot product with your unit vector that is in each direction. So what will be your vector v? Vector v can be understood as vector s plus vector e. What are these two vectors? These two vectors are okay. So this one more thing I need to tell you, which I forgot, and what is very important part is that when you do a dot b, means two vectors when taken a dot product, the resultant will be a scalar quantity. So this is just a scalar quantity. It do not have any direction. Okay. So when you do this part, you are determining the vector in each direction. So in south direction, then this will give you just the magnitude of the vector in south direction, in this direction. It will not give you the vector. So what you have to do, so you have to just take this as to be magnitude and take the vector south, unit vector south. So this will give you the direction and this will give you the direction and this will give you the magnitude of that vector. Similarly here, so this will be the magnitude of that vector which is VE, this part. So this part, so this will be V dot unit vector E will be the magnitude in each direction and unit vector E will be the direction. So this complete will make your vector. Okay, now we can see your vector V is equal to vector S, which is the reflection of this vector V onto your vector S, and vector E, VE, which will be the reflection of vector E on E vector. So you can now write here this is vector VS and this is vector VE. Okay, so this is the physical significance of your dot product. You consider that as to be as to be the reflection of your particular vector onto the second vector, and multiplying your reflection vector with your reflected vector with your second vector. Okay, so let us move on to a cross product. So what is a cross product? Mathematically, the cross product is given as mod A mod B sin theta, and this is just the magnitude of that vector, mind you, like in dot product. To give the direction to this, you take the direction as to be the normal. Normal means the perpendicular direction to both of this vector, vector A and vector B. So your vector A cross vector B will give you a vector quantity. Always mind you, dot product gives you a scalar quantity and cross product gives you a vector quantity. So this cross products will be very effective, very useful when you study magnetic statics. Okay. So considering a rectangular coordinate system, with x yz as an axis, and onto that a unit vector x and unit vector y and unit vector z, which tells us that what is the direction. So if you take the cross product of vector x with vector y, so you take a cross product of vector x with vector y, so what it will give, the magnitude, if you go on to refer this formula, so what it tells, that it will give you mod of unit vector x mod of unit vector y into sine 90 degree, here it is 90 degree, so so sine 90 degree will be 1, and the vector that is perpendicular to these two. Okay, so these two means x and y, the vector which is both perpendicular to x and y, so it will be a vector which will be perpendicular to this xy plane. Okay, so this is your xy plane, and something the vector which is perpendicular to this will come out as to be the normal component. Okay, so there are two vectors which are normal to this xy plane. It is vector z, okay, or it can be minus vector z as well. So your resultant vector, if you take the cross product of your unit vector x and unit vector y, then the resultant vector could be in positive z direction or negative z direction. So how you will tell that in what direction it should be? So the convention is that you can find the resultant vector by right hand grip rule. Right hand rule. So what is right hand rule? So what you have to do, you have to use your right hand, and you have to point the fingers in X direction. Okay, and then rotate towards Y direction. So wherever the thumb points, that will be the normal vector to your the normal vector to this XY plane. So let me tell you with visual graphics. So just I have activated my video. Okay, so now you will be able to see the blackboard behind me. So I will draw something. Okay. Are you able to see the video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just see what it is like. Okay. So let me take this as this is Y, and this is Z. Okay, is it visible? So let me make it dark. Okay, this is your vector X, Y, and Z. Now just see. What you have to do, you have to take the right hand, point it towards your X direction. Okay, so this, and just rotate your fingers from X to Y. So here it is X, here it is Y. So X to Y. So the thumb will point towards the Z direction. So you can easily do it in your sheet. Okay, practice it. So you will find X cross Y. Now you can same thing you can do with Y cross Z again. So X is pointing out of this plan. X. So you can take this Y direction. Okay. Towards the Y direction you will point out your finger and just rotate it towards Z direction. So this is Y cross Z, and it will give you the X. Okay, now just one thing to observe. When you point your X and rotate it towards Y, then you are what you are getting? You are getting Z. Okay, but if you point towards Y and just try to rotate it towards your X, sorry. Okay. When you point your fingers towards Y and rotate it towards your X, so what you can see, you will get minus Z. Okay, pointing your fingers towards X and then rotating towards Y will give still Z. But pointing your fingers towards Y and rotating it towards X will give you minus Z. Okay, so just go on the presentation slide now. So here as well you can see that if you take the cross product of X with Y, so you will get your Z direction. Use your right hand. So you will get a unit vector Z. So this will be, this mod X mod Y is 1, sine 90 degree is 1. So this will give you a unit vector in Z direction. So I have already demonstrated that if these vectors are reversed, then you will not get the same vector. What you will get? You will get the minus Z. So this is a very important thing, that when you take a dot product A dot B, then it is equal to B dot A. Either take the reflection of B onto A and multiply these two, the reflected vector and the second vector, or you can take the reflection of your second vector onto your vector B and then multiply these two, the reflected part of A and B vector. These both will give you the same dot product, but in cross product you get a different vector. Okay, totally different vector. So it is very important that means the order of vector is very important when you take the cross product. So here you can see x vector, unit vector x cross unit vector y will give you z, unit vector y to unit vector z will give you x, and unit vector z with unit vector x, if you take the cross product, it will give you vector y. All these things you have done it in 12th, your 12th. What next to offer in this subject? The most important part. The section which I am going to complete now, that will be used in throughout your EMFD syllabus. So you should be very much concentrating now on this section. So we are going to study Cartesian coordinate system. You need to check the spelling of this Cartesian. Okay, what is a Cartesian coordinate system? I think we have discussed it earlier, but just for completing this section, this Cartesian coordinate system. In this, all the reference axes will be 90 degree to each other. So what I want to say, you have done one very popular coordinate system, rectangular coordinate system. In rectangular coordinate system, you have got three axes, x, y, and z, which are 90 degree to each other. So this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis, and all these are perpendicular to each other. Okay, all these are perpendicular to each other. So if you want to define a point P, we can define this point P as to be how much this P is in all these axes. So by these axes we can just understand that in only these direction we can move. Okay, so if you want to move from origin to P, okay, this is our origin. From origin to P, if you want to move, then you can move only in x, y, or z direction. Okay, by moving in these direction, you can go to P. Like if you have to go to P, so this is minus x direction. So what you will do, if this P is x, y, z, sorry, it is minus x because it is behind this yz plane. So what you will do, first you will move towards minus x. Okay, now you can move in y direction, so it will give you a reflection of this. So let me just okay, so its reflection on this yx plane will be p dash. What this is, okay, p is above your yx plane. By plane you should understand what it is. So first what you will do, you will first of all reach in here, this point. This is minus x comma 0 comma 0, and then what you will do, you will move in y direction. Okay, you will reach this p dash point. What is p dash? P dash lies on the xy plane, so this is x minus xy and 0. Okay, throughout this plane, what it is, in this plane, this x y you will find some quantity, but z you will find 0. Okay, now you can move on your z direction to reach to a point P. So what you do, you first travel in minus x direction, then plus y direction, then in z direction to reach your point P. So if you want to denote, if you want to just create a vector P, this is vector P. So this vector P can be defined as P in x direction. Okay, this will be ax is the unit vector and px is the magnitude in which what we have traveled in x direction. So here you should understand that px will be what? Px will be your minus x. Okay, now it will be py in ay direction. Okay, then pz in az direction. So what we are doing, we are first traveling in x direction, then y direction, then z direction. All this will give you the final vector P. Okay, this is rectangular coordinate system, and you very well know this coordinate system. Let us move forward to another coordinate system which will be very helpful in solving some of the problems which you will deal. So this is cylindrical coordinate system. In cylindrical coordinate system, how it is defined? Let us take the reference xyz. We will understand this coordinate system with your rectangular coordinate system. Okay, these are your rectangular coordinate system which you are very much familiar with. So now in this cylindrical coordinate system, the first dimension we define is r. R is what? R is the radius. So if you want to define a point P and take the reflection as to be P dash, so let me complete this. So this and this. So this is your main point P, and this P dash is the reflection of your xy on the xy plane. Now, what is R? R is the radial distance from your origin to your P. Okay. So R is the radial distance from your origin to your P dash. The second coordinate is theta. Theta, or I feel it is phi. Let me do it phi here, and then we will see that how it could be. So what is this phi? Phi is the angle of this vector R, of this vector OP dash with your x. This is your phi. Okay. So very much please concentrate on how you defined these dimension. So it is vector R, which is the vector drawn with your origin, taking origin, and your P dash. Okay, and this phi is the angle what this vector makes with your vector x, or the x-axis. And the third quantity which is defined is z. It is similar to xyz. So this is your z direction. So from P dash you can directly go to P on z axis. Okay, so this is what a cylindrical coordinate system is. You define this as to be R, phi, and z. It will be more clearer if you just convert your x, y, z to this R, phi, z coordinates, cylindrical coordinates. Okay, so what it means that this P point can be defined by x, y, and z, and on the same time it could be also be defined by R, phi, and z. Okay, so just see like we have done in your rectangular coordinate system, we have only got 3 dimensions, x, y, and z. So we have to move in these 3 directions to reach to your from origin to your P. So we moved on x-axis, then y-axis, then z-axis. If you want to understand this cylindrical coordinate system, then also you have to move in this 3 coordinate system, 3 axes. There are 3 axes here. So what you can do, you first of all move in x direction with R unit. So in x direction you move in R unit. Okay, so first you move here like this. Okay, then what you did, now I should take the second pen, just let me use this one. Okay, you first moved in x direction R points, so first dimension is covered. Now move in second dimension, phi direction. So phi is what, like it is rotating your R vector, so just rotate this R vector by how much angle? By phi angle. So what you happen to be, this point is to your R 0 0. What is phi? Phi is your angle. So this P dash will be what? It will be R, phi, and 0. And now just move in z direction. So what you did, you first move here, then you moved on the P dash, and then your P. The things are covered. You have moved from 0 origin to P direction. So this is your resultant vector. Let me show you the resultant vector as well. You have to reach from origin to P, but how you have reached? You have moved in these dimensions. So you have moved in R dimension, phi dimension, and Z dimension. So one very means in your exam papers you get very popular questions to shift the coordinate system. They give you a point in XYZ in rectangular coordinate system. Then they ask you that convert this into cylindrical coordinate system. What they are what they are asking to do, they want to define this point P in R phi Z dimension. So just see. So just see. Here it is this R. Okay. So how you can define your R with using your XYZ coordinate? So this R can be written as what? This R. Sorry. Let me change color. So this R mod R is equal to x square plus y square under root. Now just take your time. You can take this vector R as to be the sum of these two vectors. Okay, what will be the magnitude? Magnitude will be your x square plus y square under root. Okay, now defining your phi. So how can you define your phi? Very easy. This can be tan inverse y by x. Simple. Now just you have to calculate this angle. So what this angle will be? This will be y by x. And what will be your z dimension? Z is same as you go in a rectangular coordinate system. So Z is Z. Such an easy task to do. Okay. But the tougher task, more unconventional task is if you move from R phi Z to X phi Z. If the point P is given in terms of R phi and Z, then anybody can ask that convert this into rectangular coordinate system. So what you need to do? You need to convert R phi Z to X phi Z. Okay. So this is your task. Today's task number 1. You have to convert R phi Z to XYZ coordinate system. And if you are able to do this, so believe me, you will be having no problems in EMFT syllabus. Means you can visualize things then. You are just able to visualize things. So this is the most important part. In physics or in electromagnetic field theory, you must be very well able to visualize things. Visualize your electric field, you visualize your magnetic field, the interaction between these two. These things should all go into your mind. Okay, so this is your first task. Okay, now let us move to our another coordinate system, which is very important and a bit more complex as well, but you will like the complexity. If you are able to visualize it, then you will be able to like it. Okay, this is spherical coordinate system. Okay, so how we define a point in spherical coordinate system? Let me just tell you. Let us take this has to be x, this has to be y, and this has to be z. So I am recording all this session, so you can always review it back, whatever I have said. Okay, so here is the point P. Okay, and we should always make a reflection point on your xy. So you draw this, and it is very easy to visualize things. Develop an habit of drawing these 3D diagrams. These are very gives you a tool to study things, make your visualization more clear. Okay, so how we defined our spherical coordinate system? So we defined our spherical coordinate system with the first dimension as to be r, and mind you, this r is different from your cylindrical coordinate system r. So in cylindrical coordinate system, what you did, you defined your r as the point from O to P dash. This was your dimension, the r dimension on your xy plane. Okay, now in spherical coordinate system, the r is directly joined from origin to your P point. This is your origin and this is your P. Okay, so this is your first dimension r. Then the second dimension is your theta, and the third dimension is your phi. Sorry, this I have defined this how phi now. So let me define this as to be as well as to be phi. This will make you help you in understanding. So the second dimension is phi, and you know phi. Phi is what? Phi is the angle taking the reference as to be x-axis. From x it starts, at x-axis it is 0, and the third dimension here it is theta. I will take the third dimension first. Okay, so what is theta? So theta is the angle of this OP with z axis. Understand? This is your theta from z axis. So your r is in the spherical radius. You must be understanding a sphere and the radius of that sphere. Okay, so the radius of that sphere is your first dimension. Then the third dimension is your theta, which this radius makes with your z axis, this angle. Okay, And what is phi? Phi is the same thing. We take the reflection of this OP onto OP dash. So let me make this with different ink. So this is your reflection of OP onto OP dash. So P dash, if P is called as R phi theta, then what will be P dash? Can anybody tell? This you can do it very nicely. You can do it. Just speak out. What will be the dimension of P dash? OP dash is the reflection of OP onto your XY plane. Means it is just the reflection. So what it will be? Your P dash. Let me help you out. So if this is theta and this is your Z, this is your P, take a reflection of this P onto your Z axis. Let me take a different color. Okay. So this is, so what is this? This is R cos theta. No? You see what is cos theta? Cos theta is the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. The base divided by hypotenuse. Cos theta is what? The base is this, na? This is right angle. So this is base and this is the hypotenuse. This is base and this is hypotenuse. Okay. So cos theta will be what? Cos theta will be the base, the Z component. This is Z component divided by R. R is the length of this OP. So Z will be what? R cos theta. Okay. So this is R cos theta. So what this will be? OP dash. What this OP dash will be? This will be R sin theta. What this will be? This will be R sin theta, this component. So let me write it. R, okay. This is R sin theta. Okay. And then what is this angle? This angle is phi. Okay. So this the reflection of your OP onto OP dash will give you a R sin theta, and this, if this R sin theta, whatever this angle makes with this x axis will be your phi. So this is how you can define your R, phi and theta in spherical coordinates. So I will give you a task that this will be your task 2. In this task 2, you will convert your x, y, z coordinate into theta. Okay, so your next task is, if this P is given in x, y and z coordinate system, so how you can convert that thing into r, phi and theta. Okay, so if x is 2, y is 3, z is 4, then how much this will be in this dimension? What will be r, what will be phi and what will be theta? This is what I am asking you to do. Okay, and these two questions you should submit it by today, because tomorrow is your another lecture. So you have to complete it by today only, and give post this in your classroom. So if you are able to do these two things, then you are very much capable of doing electrical engineering itself. So try to do these two things. First task is convert your r, phi, z into your x, y, z coordinate system, and the second task is to convert your x, y, z system into r, phi, z, r, phi, theta coordinate system, the spherical coordinate system. So all the best for the assignment. So there is no your query in the chat box, so I am considering this to be complete. Thank you for attending this class, and we will meet tomorrow. And I expect means most of you will be able to do the both tasks. Okay, thank you for now. Thank you.